Hi guys, sorry for the lack of videos. Those of you that follow my channel will know that I was due to go in for a knee replacement, first of both, and I have been in. It's about 2.5 weeks since the operation. I've just not been on YouTube, to be honest, not really felt then, well, just didn't feel like it, to be honest. So I finally decided to make a video and just update, let everybody know that it went okay. There was a couple of things that I didn't realise. I mean, I always thought from speaking to the surgeon that I was going to be a guinea pig in some way, and it turns out that, well, I am. Basically, I'm a little disheartened with it all, purely down to the fact that everybody I'd spoken to, friends and neighbours, friends of friends, this, that and the other, that have had, you know, regular knee replacements, and they've been off crutches, walking unaided, sometimes 3-4 days, at the most a week, and they've had, you know, much more range of movement in a very short space of time. So I kind of assumed the same, and a little disheartened that 2.5 weeks after I'm still on 2 crutches. Occasionally one, depending on how much pain medication I've taken. The wound itself is healing nicely. Had the staples out a couple of days ago, and had my first physio session on Wednesday, which thankfully she said that I'm actually doing better than expected under the situation. I've got, I think it's about 70 degrees bend. I'm hoping to get a full 120, which might take some time. But yeah, it's certainly been a very difficult couple of weeks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some pictures as we go on, which from the operation. First thing to note is the knee that's actually fitted. The actual orthotic itself is not a standard knee. Very new, only came out in March this year. I had no idea of this, by the way. Only came out in March this year. It's full titanium, with some kind of polyethylene type meniscal in the middle. And rather than cut the femur and cut the tibia and slam in a plastic orthotic, this actually caps the tibia plateau. I'll try and put a picture in now if I remember. And I'll also show like a side view, and this is a picture of the actual orthotic itself. Right, hopefully I'll have got that all right. Some of the issues that I've had, first of all, the bruising has just been immense. Again, I'll put a couple of pictures in at the minute. That's slowly starting to ease off. One of the other issues was the day after surgery. The physios, 2 young girls, looked like they'd just come out of college. They said that I had to get 90 degrees before I could leave the hospital. Got to about 70, felt like it could go further, but the dressing was too tight. I tried to tell them this, and they basically opened the wound up. Again, I'll insert pictures. So for the rest of that day, a couple of hours later, it opened up again. Again, I'll show a picture. And later on that evening, it opened up again. And there was blood literally squirting out the side of the dressing. The particular nurse on the ward at that time left me for nearly half an hour with blood coming out the side of my leg. So yeah, I wasn't overly impressed with that. But hey ho, I went to that hospital for the surgeon, not the ward as such. But everyone else on the ward was fantastic. The guys that were in the same ward as me were really good crack, which made the time go fairly quickly. The biggest difficulty that I've had to overcome is my entire thigh, all my quads, and all my calf muscles have been locked permanently solid, which of course has caused them to go into spasm in turn, which has started creating lactic acid. So that's been the biggest difficulty, and it's only just starting to ease off now, partially thanks to Funky Prepper, who recommended these, and to everyone on Instagram that's followed me that suggested quite a lot of different things, one of which was going for a run and riding my bike. It's fantastic. But yeah, the other thing was magnesium supplements, which I'm taking, eating a lot of bananas for the potassium, quite a bit of cheese for the calcium, and also drinking a lot of tonic water for the quinine. All of which is working, slowly but surely. Now, as far as recovery goes, I think, I dread to think, to be honest. Pain on an evening is horrendous. I'm taking very strong painkillers, right the way up to some, quite heavily controlled stuff. And the problem with those is it's not touching the lactic acid, because lactic acid is more of a sensation than a pain. So therefore, it's the post-op pain is being dealt with, but the lactic acid isn't. But like I say, thankfully that those cramps and muscle spasms are easing off. Yeah, the other difficulty that I'm having as well is over the last 14 years since the main accident, I've never been able to fully straighten my leg. So all the tendons and the muscles have kind of got set in their ways, and I'm having a lot of difficulty and a very painful time trying to relearn my leg to straighten properly. But I'm making progress. Like I said, sorry I've not put up a video in a while, and I've actually left this at a low resolution so it'll try and upload quicker as well. But yeah, I'm a bit stuck really, and like I say, a bit disheartened because 2.5 weeks in I'm still on crutches, and I really wasn't expecting that, to be honest, at all. But it is what it is. In theory, I should end up with a knee that is better than a standard knee, better than a normal human knee. I mean, they've only fitted 3,500 of these things worldwide so far, so how long they last, they don't really know. But one of the big differences is when it wears out, when it does eventually wear out, rather than have to remove the entire prosthetic, orthotic, sorry, not prosthetic, orthotic, they don't have to cut more bone and put in a longer replacement. With this, the titanium stays there indefinitely for the rest of my life, and all they do is swap out that plastic disc in the middle. The other advantage as well is all my ligaments were stretched, and what they quite often do during a knee replacement is literally cut them, so they can pull the knee apart. Makes it easy to fit the orthotic or the replacement knee, whereas with myself they've left every ligament intact, and they've put a slightly thicker disc in, I believe, to take up the slack, so I now have fully operational ligaments again. Downside of all of this is the operation itself, because the ligaments were restricting them to be able to fit the orthotic, fit the titanium caps. The operation was much more brutal, much more brutal. and obviously all the ligaments are bruised. I can feel the contact points where the ligaments attach to the muscle, excruciatingly painful, even now, 2.5 weeks after. Yeah, but like I say, in theory, it should all be worth it. And it looks like, well, I've got my post-op on the 19th of September, post-op, and from there they'll decide how long it'll be before they do the left knee, which is taking an absolute battering at the minute. And the left knee was always the most painful of the two. Looking at MRI scans and CT scans, the right knee was the worst, so they did that first, but the left knee was always the most painful, because of the amount of cartilage that I've had to have cut out over the years, and the fact that the ligaments are also stretched in that knee. So it looks like they probably do the same procedure and add the same orthotic to both knees, which is a necessary evil, I guess. But I'm assuming in the long run, 2 years time, I should be able to climb again. I should be able to ride a mountain bike again, within reason, obviously, and get back to a normal life. More importantly, I should be able to grind and be able to stand and be able to actually spend time doing what I love, which is making blades. I mean, it's very, very depressing, for the fact that some people have been waiting such a long time for knives, and I'm torn between paying the bills, making stuff to do that, and also to clear off the back order of the knives that people have been waiting for. It's heartbreaking that people have had to wait that long, and it's down to my knees and a collapsed vertebrae in my back. Now, like I say, get my knees fixed, then hopefully with pain management I can then mask the problems that I've got with my back. And also it looks like my knee surgeon is going to recommend a neurosurgeon that will have a look at the problem, the disc in my back, and hopefully eventually get a resolve for that too. And I might end up with some kind of normal life again. But yeah, it's going to be a long road. So yeah, it is what it is. So like I said, those people that are waiting patiently, I'm so sorry. I really did expect to be back in the workshop much quicker. The other problem I've got as well is my motorbike is parked in the garage right in front of the grinder, and there is not a cat in hell's chance I can get that bike out of the garage to even get access to the grinder. However, hopefully the next few days, over the next weeks, I'll get somebody to actually move the bike out, so at least I can stand in front of the grinder again and spend what time I can there. But yeah, thanks for watching through to the end. There you go, there's an update. I will try and get the video for the tungsten carbide platen edited and up soon as well. And hello Milo, hey tiger, the famous Milo cat. Hey Milo. Anyway, this video has gone on long enough, but yeah, so there you go. Sorry about the delayed update. Yeah, cheers guys.